my wife's a garage sale collector. She's at every rummage sale you'll ever see. She buys the clothes and never stops to check them. She just bags them up and brings them home to me.
Maybe the TV. Oh, see my, oh, it's the TV. $1.60, you can get a big TV. Old box of pencils. Sticker book. Are these more of those magnet things? They're different kinds. They don't stick together very well.
No, they don't. That is what they are.
Knock it off! Popcorn. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. It's Clay from Clay's Collections. We are back again with another Goodwill bins haul. Cindy and I went today. It's a Saturday. It was spur of the moment, actually. We weren't planning on going. And so we just decided to go ahead and go. So we did. And I'm glad we did. We found some great books. Of course, found some great books. But a few other great things. The household bins were very sparse today and not... They even brought out a new set of bins while they were there. And again, not much in those at all. So, yeah, the bins have been disappointing the last few times we've been there as far as from what they used to be. Now, obviously, we're comparing, and depending upon what you're looking for, there can be great finds. So, because I'm looking for specifically vintage items, there seem to be far fewer vintage items that they put out now than what they used to. At least on the times I go. It's not to say that it could be different on other days, so you just gotta play it by ear, right? Although we did find one great vintage item, which I'll show you here in a minute. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name's Clay. My wife and I, Cindy, do thrifting as a lifestyle, garage sales, whatever. We've been doing that our entire married life. We enjoy it. That's fun, but I also sell mostly through an antique store. I have a booth at an antique store in downtown Hopkins, Minnesota called the Pink Elephant. And I sell a lot of books and a few other items there. I do have some stuff listed on eBay in my store on there, also under Clay's Collections. But I'm winding that down significantly from what it used to be because I'm working full-time and I just don't have time to do all this stuff. So in order to manage life, which is the important thing, to be able to handle and manage your life, and my hair's kind of a mess. Not that there's much there to mess up, but so that I'm not, to manage life so that I am not overly stressed or feeling the burden of doing stuff, I've had to simplify, and that's all good. You know, life is an adventure, and it's constantly changing, and it's okay. So we have to make decisions for our betterment, and we go from there. So with all of that said, now let's get into the haul. I'll show you some of the books. Found some great kids books. Whoops, I've got fumble fingers. Sammy the Seal, great book. This is an early version. It does have a little bit of writing in the front, but it's an early enough version that I wasn't too worried about. This is 1959. It is a you know, first edition as far as it's the early publishing from the 1950s. Overall pretty good shape, but it does have a little dent to the binding there. The interior outside of that initial writing is all good and clear, and this is this book, as simple as it looks, is really the surprising find of the day. And I picked it up specifically. I didn't recognize the title or the author at all. Pioneering in Guangxi by W.H. Oldfield. But when I opened it up, this is what intrigued me about it, is it's inscribed to yours from Guangxi, Neglected Tribes by W.H. Oldfield. So it's actually signed by the author in both English and Chinese script. And this is from 1936. It's when it was published. First edition, only edition ever published. Was only published once. It actually is a historical account of missionaries to this region in China in the 1800s. So it's rather interesting. The interesting thing about it is there's one listed on Abe Books that's also signed by the author and his wife. This one is just the author, but and they have it listed for $180. I don't know if it has the dust jacket or not, but that's pretty amazing for a book like this. And again, part of it is the subject matter. Christianity, missionary type subject matter is a good category. So that's the surprising find, and I picked it up specifically because it was signed, not because I thought it had any specific value. Many times some of these books don't have much value. And again, I don't know if anybody will pay $180 for that book, but it's the only one listed anywhere I can find. So I picked up this. It's a brand new book, Southern Wine Guide and Journal. I have no idea if it has any value, but I put these kind of books down at the Pink Elephant, and I, you know, for like $5, and I do sell. Norwegian Jokes. This book I've had before and sold because Minnesota is heavily populated by people of Norwegian descent. These kind of things do well, and this one is like in perfect condition. This was another one I picked up simply because of the inscription on the inside. This is called Pathways by Evelyn Safeblade, and she actually inscribed it to an Audrey. It says, Audrey, good friends are precious, Evelyn. And this is a local book printed in 1999. It looks like she self-published this book. Which, in other words, she didn't go to a publisher and ask them to publish it. She paid for the publication herself. Which is interesting. And yeah, can't tell you if it's a novel or a true story. But I don't know. I'll add it to my autograph collect section of books. All right, this one's exciting. Pippi Longstocking. And I could tell from the cover that this is an earlier version of Pippi Longstocking, not a newer one. So I grabbed it. It's a book club edition from 1950, which is technically the first edition, translated from the Swedish. And this book, it's confusing, because if you look at this book, this does have the dust jacket, by the way, which is always a plus. It's a little worn, but it's still there. And the book itself is not written in, it's in great condition. But this book ranges from $3 to $30. So, yeah, not sure what that's all about, but you find that with some of these older books. The Wizard of Oz, always a great subject matter. Again, I pick up books many times because of subject matter. And this is a weekly reader version of this book, 1984. So it's not an older one, but I love the cover. And covers many times sell with children's books. So, same with this one, The Velveteen Rabbit. This has its dust jacket on it. This is a fairly recent publication. Look at the bunnies on the inside. Isn't that cute? Again, in great condition. The watch for this, because many times their dust jacket, the corner's been clipped, so it was given as a gift typically, because there'll be a price there, and they cut that out. But your dust jackets, that was the one thing I was going to tell you, dust jackets can actually have a lot of information about the volume that you're purchasing. So like if this had a price, there's certain versions that you know that it's the first edition because if it has the dust jacket and the price on the dust jacket. So, because prices go up over time, right? They may not change the graphics of the dust jacket, but the price does change. So that can be a clue too. Picked up this one, I love this. It's Peanuts Wisdom, Life's Answers. I just thought it was a great little book. Peanuts, another great subject matter that sells quite well. Picked that one up. This is another one that, had I looked at it closer, I wouldn't have picked it up. But The Tale of Peter Rabbit, usually these do really well. But the problem with this book is it obviously got damp. It does have a book plate in the front, but the cover is very warped. And again, I did not look close enough. The front pages are very warped. The actual book part of it is in great shape. But the front of it, I don't know if there's just some water or something spilled on it that it got damp. And like I say, it's rather flimsy for a hardcover. So I'm not sure if that's because it got wet or that's just the addition. But anyway. Another Stregonona. This is illustrated by Tommy DiPaola. I always say that wrong. Again, this is not an expensive edition of this book because it's fairly recent printing. But I wanted to point out that this is a Caldecott honor book. So in other words, the illustration, Caldecott is children's authors or illustrators award that happens. And it's a great honor, and those particular illustrators are collectible. So if you see that seal, that will be a collectible illustrator. All right, a couple more books and then I'll get into the hard goods that we found. Again, due to the Norwegian heritage in our area, rosemalling is something that is very common around here. People collect it, decorate with it. And so I saw this book and I'm like, oh, gotta have it. And then when I got home, this is volume 1, there were some loose papers in the front, like a piece of tissue paper, somebody's notes on it. Then there's also this little baggie, which happens to have 3 paintbrushes in it. Unexpected surprise from a book. So yeah, so that's kind of fun. I might leave them with the book. Although I probably won't. And the last book is Jack and the Beanstalk. This is an older version. Again, probably 1950s. Or, well, it says 1947 is when it was given as a gift. It doesn't... Oh, 1946. Now this one, the spine has broken. And somebody put masking tape and electrical tape along the binding because it had a black binding originally. So it's been stuck back together. But again, the illustrations in this book is something that would be worth, you know, displaying, cutting out, framing, you know, those types of things. And I'm not going to ask a lot of money for this book. So, cool. Speaking of which, it's loose completely. I love it. Anyway, so I picked it up more for that particular reason. All right. My Little Pony. Happy to find this one. This one is the one with the shamrocks on it. It's 1982, made in Hong Kong. So it's one of the early ones, which are collectible. Nicole Northgarden, if you've ever watched her channel, she sells a lot of these at the Pink Elephant. I don't ever pick them up, but when I saw this was Hong Kong, I did grab it, not realizing that this particular version, the green one, is quite popular. And it sells, looks like from $20 to $40 in that range, depending upon condition, etc. But that was very surprising to me. I was like, oh, really? Now, this one does have some staining on it that I tried rubbing off, and it doesn't come off, so it's probably in the pores of the plastic. And that's okay. You know, I'll just put, I don't know, probably $7.50 or $10 on it. Put it down to Pink Elephant. And I picked up this puzzle, Lake Minnetonka. We live very, very close to Lake Minnetonka, which is a big Minnesota thing. We love puzzles, so we do puzzles, but then we also have people coming in the Pink Elephant looking for Lake Minnetonka stuff. So I thought, if we put it together, we can always sell it later at the Pink Elephant, if it's complete. And then the last thing I got, and these I debated on, but then I finally decided no. Oh, and we spent a total of $13 today, by the way. I decided to go ahead and get these, and that's these beautiful coasters. These are Sewell, made in England. I just thought they were beautiful. Spring floral arrangements. I calling them spring. They look like poppies and daisies. Those are usually more springish. And the last one, the tulips, purple tulips. So just some beautiful coasters. Coasters usually don't sell, but I thought these are so unusual. I think they might do well. So anyway, that's what we had this haul. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll catch you next time.